Create Art Podcast. Commentary, Loving Kindness. Hello, friends. This is Timothy Kimo Bryan, your head instigator for Create Art Podcast, where I bring my, 30 years of experience in the arts and education world to help you tame your inner critic and create more than you consume. So, this is a continuation of what I've been doing for this year so far, and I'm really enjoying this Kickstart Creativity deck from Bonnie Smith Whitehouse. It's 50 prompted cards to help you spark inspiration. And there's 3 types of cards. There's the red cards, which are action cards, green cards, which are perspective cards, and blue cards, which are intention cards. And I'm going through the blue cards right now, and I'm bringing them to you just about every Sunday with a new card. Now, how did I get these cards? Well, over Christmas in December of 2022, my wife got me this deck of cards, and I thought to myself, why do I need a deck of cards on creativity and inspiration? Isn't that what Create Art Podcast is all about? Hence the name, Create Art Podcast. But I've found that these cards are very helpful and help me focus every week on something that is relatable to art. So let's get on with this week's card, which was an interesting one, Loving Kindness, and it's all spelled as one word. So on the front of the card, it says, practice loving kindness towards the self, towards others, and towards creation itself, which, well, that's one thing that I teach my kids, is you have to love yourself first before you love other people. And, of course, my kids are like, well, then who do you love second? And I said, naturally, my wife. And they were angry at that because they wanted to be on equal footing with my wife. And that's just, I'm sorry, kids, that's just not going to happen. It goes me, my wife, my kids, then, my friends and other family members. You guys factor in there at some place because you're my friends. And I want to thank you for listening to me and going through these cards with me each and every week. I will let you know that every year I do the National Poetry Writing Month and National Novel Writing Month. Poetry Month is in April. So right now, as I record this here on March the 12th, I'm getting ready for April's Poetry Writing Month. So get ready for that in the next couple of weeks. National Novel Writing Month is in November. So that's quite a ways off, and I already have an idea for a novel that I want to write. But loving kindness. So that comes from the Pali word Metta, and translates as friendliness, care, or goodwill. Imagine your heart as a canvas on which you offer kindness to yourself and others. Researchers have speculated that love makes us more creative because love inspires us to think more globally, to see the forest and not just the trees. A loving kindness meditation begins simply, and some would say revolutionary, by extending care to yourself. So let's talk about that for a minute. Loving yourself first. I've gone through a lot of therapy myself to learn to love myself first before I love other people. And that's true for romantic relationships, for friendships. You got to take care of yourself first. I even think it's probably in the Bible somewhere, take the stye out of your own eye before you take it out of your brother's eye. If we don't care about ourselves, if we don't love ourselves, if we don't, truly take care of ourselves, then how can we take care of others? We're just, not wasting, but we're spending that energy that we could take care of ourselves better. And when we are better, then we can take care of others more easily and better. I'm not sure that that's grammatically correct, but I'm sure you will let me know because you care about me and I care about you. But that's a lesson that's been hard for me to learn because for many years. And if you read my early poetry, which many of you have not, but some of you have, seen at poetry readings that I've attended, it wasn't about caring for myself. It was, work hard, fight the man, all that kind of good revolutionary stuff. But it was never about, hey, take care of me. And I've been noticing ever since I got married and ever since I've become a father that I'm learning to take better care of myself. And that has definitely impacted the art that I've put out, the poetry and the novels and everything that I'm doing. It has really impacted that. And I think it's made it stronger, more relatable for other people. And for my Friday night poetry folks that listen to this podcast, I think they're noticing it as well. And I'm better able to poke a little bit of fun at myself. I still read the old stuff because I think it's important to remind myself of when I didn't take care of myself, when I was hurting myself. And so it's important for me to still keep that around, but not wallow in it, not really focus on that. Or if I'm going to focus on it, then focus on what not to do. So that's my photo negative, so to speak. So I would challenge you to, if you've been doing art that's very angry, and for the longest time, I fed on my anger, and that only burns for so long, and then it gets old and stale, and people are like, okay, next, can you do anything besides anger? And yes, I can do other things besides anger. I'm a very loving person. I can do love. I hope you can do love. I hope you have love in your life. And I hope you can, put that love in your life, in your art, whatever that may be. So let's get to the other parts of the card. As you practice extending love, do you find your heart opening up to creativity? How and why? Yes, absolutely. Well, when I was first writing poetry, and I would say probably right up until the time I got married, even a little bit after that, I noticed a definite change in the stuff that I was writing. It was stuff that I really enjoyed. It was stuff that was uplifting. It wasn't, oh, boo-hoo, look at me. I am drinking. I am doing, different chemicals that are affecting my brain. People hate me. People are using me. All that kind of stuff. To a point now where there's a poem that I do on Friday night poetry readings. It's called Deep Dish Dreaming. It's hilarious. It's me as if I was a deep dish pizza, talking about how faithful my man is to me because of, how thick I am, how juicy I am, all my curves and all that kind of good stuff. And it's fun and people laugh. And I like it when people react to my stuff in a positive way. So it's funny. It's hilarious. And I've had those points in my life where I was doing funny things. I remember when I was living in Chicago, I partnered with a group called Salsation. I have interviewed members of Salsation on this podcast in the past, and I had a lot of fun with them. I was the token white guy, which was great. But I've noticed also in this podcast, when I do, some positive things. A few episodes ago, we talked with Veronica Merrill about hospitality and how, she makes her sets for film a very positive experience for her actors. And that's one of the things in the arts that I've noticed is that, there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of hurts that people get out. And yes, we all have pain. We all have hurt, and we need to get that out and on the canvas, on the page, on the dance stage, through our music. And I'm reminded of something, John Coltrane. I love John Coltrane. And one of his songs is Alabama, where it starts off very solemn, and it's about some in the civil rights movement. Four girls were killed in a bombing, and that's tragic. That's very tragic because I have two girls myself, and I can't imagine them getting blown up. But then it goes from this solemn point to, I don't know, I don't want to say bouncy and happy and joyful and anything like that, but it starts off with this solemn portion, and then it swings. It I don't know if I have not studied the history of the song in depthly. Let's laugh at me for my grammar. Thank you very much, folks. I haven't studied the song in depth. I've listened to it maybe, I don't know, 200 times. But after that solemn point, which reminds me of kind of what the song is about, then it swings. And I don't want to say it's a celebration, but it lets me know things are going to be okay. And, we've all been through this pandemic. And that's one of the things that I've had to, tell my girls, and I've had to believe it, that things will be okay. It sucks right now, but things will get better. This too shall pass, like a kidney stone. So the next part is reflect alone or in a group. What are some of the most moving pieces of art made in the name of love? So my mind immediately goes to it. I don't know why it's always music, but the Rose, the movie. It's kind of about Janis Joplin's life. It's loosely based on that. Bette Midler is playing the lead role in that one, and I know it was my mom's one of her favorite movies, and it's a tragic movie, but it's also a movie about love. And the lead song of it, "The Rose," it talks about love, and some of the lines in it are just soul crushing. It's just like ugh. But then it also reminds us that love is like a seed that stems up and grows into the beautiful rose, just like we do. So maybe I'm hoping that I turn into a beautiful rose. Although my wife, likes tulips, and my girls like lilies. My mom was a big. She loved daisies. So, maybe you can send me some lilies and some tulips and some daisies. That would be great. That would be great. Or you could send me the seeds and I'll grow them in our backyard here, and I'll shoot you pictures of them. But when I'm thinking about love, that's one of the things that I go to. That's one of the records that I play. And yes, I did say record because I do have a turntable right behind me, and I do have that disc, that vinyl disc or record. Again, my grammar, shoot me an email. Let me know that I have horrible grammar, and I'll be okay. I'll still love you. So the last part of the card says, meditate now. And I used to be, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I used to go to this coffee shop that had a meditation room. And it was great because you could sit in there, light some incense. It was, it was, I don't want to say it was soundproof, but it was a nice, comfortable. It didn't have a chair. It had a bunch of cushions, and had different pictures of different, like Shiva and Buddha and, all that kind of stuff on the walls. And it had some, light meditative music in there. And I would go in there and sit and meditate. And it was very peaceful, very restful. And at the time, I was not looking for that in my life. I was looking for the drama. I was looking for the excitement. And, I tried that out, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not really getting a whole lot out of this. And so I stopped doing it. But, maybe I'll pick up meditation again. And if you're meditating, feel free. Email me. Let me know what kind of meditation that you're doing. I'd be interested to find out. And maybe that can assist me in my search for meditation. I'm also looking at Tai Chi too, because I do need to exercise more and take care of my body. And I do need to swim more because I love swimming. So we'll get to that. But anyhow, what the card is asking you to meditate on is, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. Ooh, that's a tough one. Because, and that's why I have the tagline, tame your inner critic, because that can be an internal danger. So, that's probably what, the first thing I would do if I was going to go back in meditation is maybe safe from inner dangers, because I can be pretty dangerous to myself. My wife always says, how come you're not dead yet? Not that she wants me to be dead, but, everything I've done in my life, she hears stories about it and she's like, how are you not dead? Most people would be dead at this point. I'm not, and I'm glad that you're happy that I'm not dead. And I'm glad that she's happy I'm not dead. And my kids are definitely happy that I'm not dead. Other people, not so much. May I be well in body and mind. Whoa. So I'm taking care of my mind. As a matter of fact, this week, I'm going on to another, therapy session. I used to do different support groups. I still do one support group that I have become a moderator for because I do have MS, relapsing remitting, and I am going to be doing a walk in May. I believe it's May the 7th. Don't have a calendar in front of me, but I'm going to be walking. I've already done a fundraiser for that, and I'm going to be doing that walk for myself and for other people that have MS. I have also done walks for suicide awareness, and I think this year I may get back into that. So I think this may be the year that I walk. And that's a way to take care of myself too. But, maybe well in body and mind. And think of different ways that you can take care of that body and take care of that mind for yourself. Whatever that is for you. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's a glass of wine. Maybe it's a jog or running 100 miles, doing an ultra marathon. Although I find that as a mental illness, but go get a massage. Go talk to your chiropractor. Go find a chiropractor or a massage therapist. Go find yourself a good therapist. Even if you don't think you need it, you might need it. And just to like you do with your car, every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, get a oil change, get a tune-up every 10,000 miles. Do the same for yourself, because you are worth more than your car, than your computer, than your job, than this podcast. So take care of your mind and body, and hopefully, me reminding you of that is a way to take care of your mind and body. Then the last meditation is, may I be at ease and happy. Oof, at ease. Well, I don't want to say I'm a highly strung individual, but I do thrive on work. That's why I run a couple of podcasts. I like doing things. I don't like sitting around and taking it easy. I find it difficult, to go on vacation. I have, for my job, I have like 52 hours, 54 hours of use or lose leave that I have to get through this year. Otherwise, I lose that, 52 hours. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to look back on my life and go, yeah, I had, 300 hours of vacation that I didn't use, on my deathbed. That's nothing to be proud of. Use that vacation time. Go out and have fun, rest, relax. Sunday mornings, I come in and I do this podcast, and I'll also be recording my other podcast this morning and putting it out in the world for you to listen to. So, that's a hard lesson for me to learn, is to take it easy, and be happy. Yeah, doing podcasts makes me happy. So don't get me wrong there. Making art makes me happy. Don't get me wrong there. But sometimes you just need to, sit back, relax and let life happen around you, and observe it, and maybe use it for a piece of art that you're working on. But the big thing is practice that loving kindness on yourself. Love yourself more than anyone else. That's not saying be selfish. That's not saying, be looking at the mirror all the time going, oh, let me fix this, let me fix that. Reflect on yourself. Take care of yourself. Because I definitely want you here for the next episode. And if nothing else, the world needs to see your art. So take care of yourself so that way other people can enjoy your art. I want to enjoy your art, and I'm hoping you're enjoying my art. Well, that was today's card. I appreciate you, taking a listen to this podcast, and I really appreciate the time that you put into it. And I hope you appreciate the time that I put into it. I do want to ask you a slight favor. If you got any benefit out of this, I'd ask you to go ahead and share it with a friend. Whatever app you're using, if you're on my website, go ahead and give them the website. If you're, using an app, share it through your app. There's lots of different ways, lots of different apps out there. So I'm not going to go through them all. But yeah, go ahead and share it with a friend. I don't mind. Don't mind at all. The other thing I'd like to ask of you is that if you have something going on in your neck of the woods, or if you have, a piece of art that you're working on that I can help you out with, or if you want to get your work out there to other people, I'd be happy to interview you on this show. You can email me, timothy@createartpodcast.com. And I'd be happy to get back with you and talk about it and see what we can do about that. The last thing I'm going to ask of you, and I know I'm asking a ton, and I apologize for that, but could you go ahead and email me and let me know what would make this a 5-star podcast in your eyes? I'd like to know about that. You can, a lot of the apps out there, you can comment right there on the app and leave your review or all that. And by all means, go ahead and do that. Even if it's not a 5-star, if it's a 4-star, if it's a 1-star, go ahead and do that. But what I would ask you to do, please, is to go ahead and email me. Same email address, timothy@createartpodcast.com. And let me know what's going to make this a 5-star podcast for you. Now I'm going to release you to the rest of your day. I hope this was enjoyable for you. I know it was enjoyable for me. So go out there. Tame that inner critic. Create more than you consume. And go out there and make some art for somebody you love, yourself. I'll talk to you next time.